Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some things homesteaders can do to, get ready for the year that may be coming. The world is just on fire right now, and everyone's asking, hey Zach, how can I do this? How can I do that? First thing I want to do is address a misconception out there that I'm seeing in prepper land. Now, I am a prepper, but I'm also a homesteader, and I have always said that when you push prepping to its logical conclusion, you will always end up on a homestead. When you push prepping to its logical conclusion, you will always end up on a homestead. I prep because I'm a homesteader, I homestead because I'm a prepper. I love prepping and I love homesteading. I love growing my own food. I love being more self-reliant. But the misconception I want to address today is that homesteaders have never, not ever, throughout history been completely self-reliant, completely self-sustaining. Not happening. Has never happened. Okay, there's the occasional, story of, we hear about the guy who lived up in Alaska for 40 years and never saw another human being and somehow managed to survive. You hear about stories like that every once in a while. But those are very, very rare. And the quality of life that person has is, seriously, even the pioneers who homesteaded out in the wilderness, out in the expanse of the great United States as it was expanding, and had to fight the Indians, though those people relied on trade and barter and going to the general store and buying things they needed and trading, the things that they grew with their neighbors who grew different things. And they were never completely self-reliant or self-sufficient. They relied on community. They relied on each other and other people. And that's going to be the same way. People ask me all the time, Zach, what can I do as a homesteader to make a living and have a job on my homestead? And I'm like, you're asking the wrong question. I disagree with the premise of your entire question. Homesteading and people who live on farms, people who live on homesteads have always had multiple revenue streams. This time of the year, we're going to do hay. This time of the year, we're doing livestock. This time of the year, we're doing this crop or that crop or whatever. Or we're doing this service because I can help out my neighbors, shoeing, horses or whatever. They have multiple revenue streams in order to stay afloat. And instead of thinking of yourself as, I'm this person, this is my career, this is my job, a homesteader should be looking at things of ways I can make money and get by doing this, and that. Does that make sense? You have to reconfigure yourself, rewire some things. There is this idea out there that, homesteading is just too hard. It's not for me, Zach. I'll just stockpile food because I know what's coming. We can all see it. So the easy thing for me, the lazy thing for you, is to just go ahead and stockpile food. No, eventually that food's going to run out. Eventually, your water supply is going to run out. What are you going to do for more water? What are you going to do for more food? I'll just eat beans and rice. You're going to eat beans and rice? Do you know how boring beans and rice will be after about your 30th time eating it? Well, Zach, I'll save up some spices. I'll have some of this and that to make the beans and rice taste better. That's not going to last forever. What are you going to do when you can't get any more of that? See, the thing is, you better have some experience, you better have some knowledge, some self-training, some skill sets in order to provide some things that, just beans and rice isn't going to give you. It's okay to grow a garden, and it's okay to, have a few animals. Because things like that, I have heard over and over again, and some of you guys have heard it too because I've seen you guys talk about it in the comments. Zach, when times get tough, I'll just grow a garden. I've got seeds. I've got my end of the world. It's good. I like Clearwater Valley Farms Emergency Seed Vault. I like this company way better than that GMO seed company out there in the Ozarks who claims they're not GMO, but they make themselves GMO with, get this from clearwatervalleyfarms.com, their seed vault. But see, you can't just pull out the seed vault having never pulled out a seed vault before, throw some seeds in the ground and expect it just to, oh, look, food. It doesn't work that way. You have to learn some things. You have to deal with pest pressures and funguses and soil conditions. And you learn, like, it's like anything else in life. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Wisdom comes from experience. Experience brings wisdom. But don't just say, I'll just stockpile some beans and rice. Guys, I'm going to give you 3 things I want you to do. 3 things I want you to concentrate on. Okay? If you're a prepper, a real prepper, number 1, I want you to get yourself in order. Your body is important. Okay? The first thing I tell everybody is have a positive attitude. I love that quote by, I forgot the Homestead channel that put it out years ago. A problem is just not a problem. A problem is only a problem that hasn't been solved yet. A problem is only a problem that hasn't been solved yet. Your first problem for a lot of us, and I was included in this for a long time, was my own body. Getting myself in shape, losing 50 pounds. I did OMAD, and I do 100 push-ups a day. A day now. When I first started, I could only do like 5. I was in the military. I was in the army, but I had gone so long without taking care of my body, I could barely do 5 push-ups. So I started with 5 push-ups, and then I did 10. And it progressed over time. And now I do 100 a day, minimum. The most push-ups I've ever done in a day is 400 push-ups in a day. And after that, I was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. So I keep myself to 100 a day. But it's like our own bodies, we are so filthy from all the processed foods and the nonsense that we take into our bodies. And we don't even care that when it hits the fan, who cares how much food you have stockpiled up if you are not taking care of your body? Guys, take care of your body. I can't do 1 meal a day, OMAD, because that's too hard. I get hungry. Suck it up, Buttercup. Hard times are coming. You've got to be able to do the hard things now. If you can't do the hard things now, when it comes time to actually really be hard, you're not going to survive. That's just the way it is. And I know I can be blunt. I can be harsh. But that's the world we live in. We've been living in the world of Care Bears and giant green M&Ms, and that's not the real world. Here's what you're going to do. Number 1, you're going to do planting a garden. You're going to plant a garden because gardening takes experience. I want you to plant something you've never planted before. Go out, if you've never planted tomatoes, I want you to learn how to plant some tomatoes. Even if it's cherry tomatoes, plant something. Spring is coming up. Now, the wintertime is the time you need to be conditioning your soil, putting good things in the soil, the place where you're going to be planting a garden, and plant something. For crying out loud, plant something. You're going to plant a garden this year. The second thing you're going to do today, this coming up spring and starting right now, is trying to figure out how to expand your water supply. You can have all the beans and rice stacked up that you can imagine, but if you don't have a way to get more water, if you don't have a rain catchment system or a cistern or something guys, bottled water is only going to last so long. In fact, bottled waters in a lot of places are running out. You need a way to get more water. You can't make rice without water. So I want you to think of ways to expand your water supply. How to continue to pace, primary, alternative, contingency, emergency, water. It's the most important thing you must have. Whether it's hitting the fan or whether every day is good, you must have water. Figure out ways to expand your water supply. The third thing I want to give you guys to do is expand your protein supply. How to expand your protein. I'm not talking about going out and buying protein in the cans. I'm talking about how you can make your own proteins. Not just plant proteins, that's the gardening side. I know there's people like, there's protein in broccoli, don't you, Zach? Yes, I know, but there's differences between plant proteins and animal-based proteins. You need animal-based proteins. Muscles are built with animal-based proteins. You got to have some. And you got to figure out ways to expand that. What are you going to do to expand your protein? That could be having just a chicken tractor in the backyard. Having some chickens. Zach, my chickens died, or Zach, my chickens don't do well. Well, then find a new breed. Go ask your neighbor who has chickens. Hey, the guy who's been doing chickens for 20 years, say, hey, what do you know that I don't know? How can I keep my chickens? I've told you before, your chicken barn, I said people like, a raccoon got into my chicken barn and killed all my chickens. Your chicken barn better be like Fort Knox, because when the sun goes down, anything and everything comes out to eat those chickens. Everyone likes chicken. You like chicken? The raccoon likes chicken. The possum likes chicken. The hawk likes chicken. Everyone likes chicken. But your chicken barn better be like Fort Knox. Ours is like Fort Knox. Tim did a fantastic job at building a Fort Knox type chicken coop. And it better be that way, because every night they're going to crawl along that thing and they're going to try to figure out a way to gain entry. Expand your protein. That if you have enough acres, you might have a couple sheep, a couple goats, a milk goat, or a small miniature milk cow, a miniature Jersey, something to produce protein. You need protein. And I want you to figure out those three things. I want you to figure out a garden this year. I want you to figure out water expansion. And I want you to figure out protein expansion. Beans and rice are not going to cut it. After about the 30th day of you eating beans and rice, you're going to want to kill yourself. Just let the zombies take me. Take me, zombies. I don't care anymore. I can't stand another meal of beans and rice. Oh, good night. All right. We're going to leave it at that. Hey, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you can get on those three things. Those three things. And remember, homesteaders have never, ever been completely self-sufficient. We're not trying to be completely self-sufficient. I'm trying to be more self-sufficient. I'm trying to do things for myself. Not in all cases. There's just some times where I have to go out. I know things are above my pay grade, and I go out and I get help. But that's the way it's always been. There's a guy down the road, I talk to him often, and he knows more about sawmills than I'll ever be able to forget. There's another guy down the road. He knows more about, diesel heavy equipment than I'll ever be. He has probably forgotten more information about diesel heavy equipment than I'll ever be able to learn. It's like you go to people who know things and be like, you know things. I want to know what you know. Homesteading has never been about complete self-sufficiency. You need community. You need each other. But goodness gracious, God almighty, please stack more than beans and rice and learn how to do some things on your own. All right, we'll leave it at that. Hey, check out our merchandise, teespring.com. You can find links in the description below. You can buy our Freedom shirt, but our best-selling shirt is the shirt that everyone wants. It's the Stupid Shit Hurt shirt. I had someone message me just the other day and said, Zach, I wore my Stupid Shit Hurt shirt out in public, and I got like 3 or 4 people who commented on it, who loved it. The Stupid Shit Hurt shirt, you can find that links in the description below. If we had more hurt in this world, there'd be a lot less stupid. All right, we'll leave it at that. All right, see you next time in the Homestead. Bye! Alexander the Great. Did you know when he died, his body was placed in a coffin made of solid gold? Decades later, Ptolemy X and Cleopatra III stole the coffin and gold artifacts just so they could pay their war debts. Germany, at the time of World War II, stole all of the gold they could get their hands on, and much of it still today has not yet been accounted for. You see, all throughout history, when times get tough, people, either good or bad, seek real wealth. They turn to gold and silver. The central banks and Wall Street cheerleaders would have you believe that gold and silver are just shiny rocks with no real value. But did you know that central banks around the world have for the last year been buying record amounts of gold and silver for stockpiling? Stockpiling for what? What do they know that they're not telling us? Genesis Gold Group is a proud supporter of an American homestead. They help people get out of locked-in 401ks and IRAs into something that's real, physical gold and silver. If you're going to be locked into something, it might be a good idea to talk to Genesis Gold Group about being locked into something physically vaulted instead of just a piece of paper that at the end of the day is just that, a piece of paper. It's a clear surety that our economy is headed for turbulent waters. The nation is currently over $31 trillion in debt, and Congress keeps spending money and the Fed keeps printing it. That does not bode well for anyone keeping and saving money in savings accounts or paper-denominated assets. Call Genesis Gold Group today, this instant, or visit them online at genesisgoldgroup.com. They can put together a strategy that's right for you. And be sure to say that you heard about them from an American homestead. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.